All right, hello everyone. I am Rachel Cash, brand ambassador and Fox for WJZZ, the world's oldest jazz radio station, also host and CEO of the Cash Talks Experience. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with one of the most respected voices in R&B as he gets ready to take the stage here in Detroit this Wednesday at the Aretha Amphitheater. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Mr. Eric Roberson. Give it
Oh,
up.
thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Eric, thank you so much for taking a few moments to join us. It's truly a pleasure to have you with us today. How's
A
everything
pleasure of
going?
mine. Everything's great. I've been on the road. I'm home for one day, so I'm
Yes.
enjoying just being around the family and washing and packing, and I'm right back right back out. So looking forward to the show.
Absolutely. And you're right back out on your way to us, right?
That's right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so super excited about it.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you here. So, you are bringing the beautifully all over the place tour to Detroit this week. What can fans expect when they walk into that venue? What are they going to expect from you?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's always an honor and a privilege to grace a stage named after Aretha Franklin, and it's such a beautiful stage that I think just a celebration, man. I've been doing this for 30 years, and my goal is to try to make you dance, make you sing, maybe shed a tear, hold the person next to you a little closer. We're going to celebrate,
Yeah.
but of course, you gotta, touch on the songs that maybe have made people buy a ticket and come celebrate with us. So we're gonna cover as much as we can and really serve, man. I know it's an interesting time, so hopefully we can take people's minds off of whatever might be troubling them and just have a good time.
Yes. Is there a moment in the show that surprises audiences the most?
Well, we always make a song up. I love doing improvisation, and we pretty much make a song up every show. And almost positive we'll do it at this show. We've had some historic freestyles at the Aretha Theater, and I think a lot of it's just reading the room.
Yeah.
There might be a certain couple that's hugged a certain way, or came in wearing a certain outfit, or there might be a brother sitting by himself over in the corner,
Hmm.
or somebody looks troubled or whatever. We just kind of feed and feel out things and just follow our lead from there. And it's always, I'm one who, and beautifully all over the place is pretty much about this. It's like I believe that everything that's for me is already there. It's just my
Yes.
my my job to find it, right?
Hmm.
So the songs are there. I mean, there's gonna be thousands of people in front of me, and technically thousands of songs in front of me. So
Yes.
we'll do the songs people know. We'll make up a song together, which should be a really special moment and then also just try to introduce them to some new art too. So I think all across the board, hopefully the entire show is a joy and surprising for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I can't wait, cannot wait to see the show. I'm so excited
Oh,
about it. Yes. So, your latest project, Beautifully All Over the Place, feels very personal. What inspired this chapter of your life?
so my dad, if I could be transparent, my dad fell ill about 3 years ago,
Okay.
and it was really troubling to the family. He's doing a little bit better, and we're in this
Good.
interesting place where we're I think they call it the sandwich season where you're taking care of your parents and your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And in trying to balance that, my escape, my therapy is usually writing. So I wrote more than I'm always writing, but I wrote way more than I usually write. And a lot of times it was to serve to get me out of the cloud that I was in, right? I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily trying to write a song that might change the world. I was just trying to change my evening. And
Yes.
I did almost 100 songs over the last 3 years,
Wow.
and 10 of them are on this album. And I think some songs about love and romance, because I'm married for 17 years and that's a part of my life. And
Congratulations.
some parts about, thank you, about looking in the mirror and self-reflecting. But I'll tell you the biggest thing,
Mm-hmm.
the the things that I talked about in my comfort, I had to make sure I held close in my storm. So
Yes.
I felt like I had to really write about those things as well. So the album is pretty balanced in all emotions. And I wrote a book at the same time to go with the album, and it's also entitled Beautifully All Over the Place.
Wow. That's beautiful. So, was there one
Yeah.
song that challenged you emotionally or creatively during your writing?
Yeah, there's a song called Fight Through It All. Well, I won't
Hmm.
say challenge. It was probably the most helpful song. And I think it's a relatable song, And I wrote it on a very dark, dark night. Um, I don't necessarily know if anything was a challenge because I was trying my best to always get lost in the music, but I was
Yeah.
also trying to be connected. There's a song called Over You, Under You,
Mm.
where my youngest son uh came in while I was working on the music, and he wanted to play. And at the time, he's 10 now. He was probably 8, and I put him on a keyboard and put a bass sound, and before you know it, I hit record, and that's him playing bass on the album. You know,
Wow.
at 8 years old, and so for me, once again, he walked in. There's a reason why he walked in,
Absolutely.
right? And I'm open to use everything. Now, of course, we had to make sure it sounded right. I just didn't want to just have, hey, just put anything on here. But
Yeah.
yet he started sounding good. I kind of, well, play this note, play that note, and he started moving. He was enjoying. He was getting funky, and the kid's talented too. So before you know it, we were in there jamming, and I think that's kind of what it's all about, trying to really find purpose in all things.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to hear
Yeah.
that your dad is doing so much better. And you
Yeah.
said, yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. So,
Thank
so
you.
great. Yes. So you've remained one of the most respected independent artists in music. What has staying independent allowed you to do that you might not have been able to do otherwise?
Well, I think stay with the creative ideas that I've went through. I mean, look, I have 18 albums, and there's a lot of songs, and I can't say that everything always worked. But a major
Hmm.
label wouldn't have let me, try something different. Like, for example, we did Lessons, and Lessons was an incredible record, and it was super huge. A label would have been like, you have to, don't leave the room till you write another Lessons, right?
Right.
And it's like, I mean, the only way I came up with Lessons was not trying to write lessons. So that, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm chasing creativity. I think when you go to Africa, you're gonna write differently when you come back. When you get your
Yeah.
heart broken, you're gonna write differently. So I think being independent has allowed me to evolve creatively and also embrace the mistakes, embrace the failures, embrace the crickets, because that's how you lead to your
Mm-hmm.
success. It's all just part of the process. And the majors, it's first of all, I'm not here to like, oh, just the majors of is the Matrix and it's the devil. But at the same time, I am saying that I've had the fortunate opportunity of defining what success means to me and
Mm-hmm.
changing course several times in my career. And I don't know if, with a major, once you sell a certain amount, you have to beat that the next time, or else it's looked at as a failure. And everyone is
Yes.
looking at numbers. So you have an album that sells 1 million copies, and if the next album doesn't sell 1 million copies, it's a fail. And but yet it sells 800,000, it's a
Mm-hmm.
failure. And I that has never felt well. That never sat well with me. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily make sense to me that way. So that's the main reason why I think it's probably the most beneficial aspect of being independent.
Of course. I love that. And there's never been, and this is the question, has there ever been a moment when you've questioned that decision of being independent?
Not really. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think what's for me is what's for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I would tell you that before I started, and mind you, I wasn't the first to put out records independently by no means. I think what was different is I just stayed independent. Most times when you get a certain level of success, people would try the majors, and
Mm-hmm.
but yet as a songwriter producer that's worked in the industry and saw and worked on so many records that never came out. I also realized that there's a dark side to that. So getting
Yeah.
signed, that's easy. Having an entire building being on one accord on making you and your art amplified is actually really, really hard, you
Mm-hmm.
know? and I watched a lot of people's lights get dimmed,
Yeah.
and it was never really about that for me. It was about just making sure I could do the work, make sure I could get the idea out of my head when I press record
Yeah.
is my success, right? And
Definitely.
if I can do that and I can grow old doing that, so clearly I got to make some kind of money and but to be able to walk on a stage like the Aretha and have thousands of people jamming and singing along, that was way beyond my dreams.
Yes.
My dream was
Yeah.
way more simple than that. So I mean, we're in overtime right now. Like we're
Definitely.
we're we're lapping expectation, and it's been an honor. It's been an honor, but for me, I would tell you, I'm one who I work very hard
Yes.
on trying not to be envious. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and what's for me is what's for me, and what's for you is what's for you. But I can count on one hand. Music Soul Child was at my house one time, and Stevie Wonder called him. And I
Oh,
said, "Wow!"
wow.
In that little moment, I was like, "I wish Stevie Wonder would call me." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was for a second. You know what I mean? I've gotten a chance to meet and talk with Stevie, and it's been a blessing and the whole nine. He's not calling me yet, but nevertheless, I've had a chance I've had a chance to have a conversation with my hero, right?
Yes.
And pick his brain, tell him about my favorite song. So, I mean, it's all a blessing.
It is. It is. And I can hear it all in your voice. And you're right about that. What's for you is for you and what's for someone else is for them. And so I love
Completely.
hearing that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your fans have been with you for years and you continue to gain new listeners. What's the secret to creating music that connects across generations?
Um, Honesty,
Yeah.
transparency, and just effort.
Mm-hmm.
I think the focus is completion. And really, my first album was entitled Esoteric, which means only meant to be understood by a chosen few. And
Yes.
it hasn't that approach hasn't changed. My 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 true goal is to present a piece of art and say, whoever it's for, come take a listen. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not for you, go find what's for you. Let me be proof that what's for you is there,
Yes.
right? Like, there are people fighting to let their art be amplified. I'm one of them, and I've been blessed that some people have turned to me and said, "Wow, that's interesting what you're doing."
Mm-hmm.
And some people have drifted, and new people have came along. And now Rogers said something the other day, and it was so interesting. I think he was on vacation in like Jamaica. And he was taking a walk, and he said, "Through the years, I've lost some friends, but I've
Mm-hmm.
gained some new ones too."
Yes.
And it was like his openness to say, "Hey, that's the blessing." Some people
Mm-hmm.
pass, some people leave, some people show up, and what's for, like I said, if that's the theory, I think that you have to keep going when you put out a song that means a lot to you and it doesn't work. You have to
Definitely.
keep going when you put out a song that really works and that's all they're asking for. They're not interested in hearing the next song. You
Mm-hmm.
got to keep going. You got to keep, and
Yes.
I think that's the whole thing, man. We're fighting to amplify the art and just trying to complete everything we try.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. I want you to tell or give something inspirational to our listeners. What's some piece of advice that you can give them, from you to, inspire those who are aspiring to get to your level. What's a piece of advice?
Well, I think a lot of it is the best inspire I could tell you is to take the time
Mm-hmm.
to define what fulfillment is, what satisfaction is, what success is. And there was a time when I taught songwriting, and I remember talking to the students, and like when you asked them like how would you define success, most of them couldn't do it. They never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey man, if you want to be as big as Lady Gaga, go for it. But there's a certain thing you need to do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to, build a farm and just write songs while fishing, hey, guess what? You can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like really take the time to figure out what what you want, so what you don't want doesn't have room. There'll be
Definitely.
no space. There'll be no space for it. There'll be no hunger for it. Because a lot of times people are gonna come in. You're gonna get this. Hey, why don't you try that? Why you not doing this? I'm not doing that because it's not for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yes.
But yet if you go after what's for you will show up. I do believe that. It may show up in a
Yes.
different form, right? So you
Yeah.
have to be open to receive what's for you. Because like, okay, you know, I asked for, a blue sky, but yet it's a sunburned sky. Okay, you
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
It's like, but if we get so particular, we'll miss really the thing that's actually really showing up for us.
Yes.
And I think that's the main thing, man. Just everything really, like the oxygen in this world was already here for us. We did not have to ask for it,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Everything that allow us to make it through this day is already here. There's more here for you too. You just got to look a little bit deeper to find it.
Just a little bit deeper. I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that, Eric. We really do appreciate you.
No.
Again, thank you so much. We truly
Uh,
appreciate you giving us the time to have this interview, with me. And looking forward to seeing you. I'm gonna come find you so we can get a couple pictures together if you don't mind. I'm gonna come.
yay!
Yes. So again,
Please
Rachel
do.
Cash. Yes, I will. On behalf of WJZZ, we absolutely are so excited to have you on the show. And again, I'll come look for you. So just be expecting me. I'm going to come by to see you to
Please
get some.
do.
Yes, I will. And again, thank you so much for giving us the time to just speak with you today. And we look forward to seeing you coming this
No
Wednesday.
problem. It was a great interview. I look forward to
Thank
having
you.
another interview with you later on.
Definitely. Thank you. And you have a
Okay.
great
All right. Take
evening.
care. You too. All
Thanks.
right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.